All right, let's welcome Dhananjay Sinha, Head of Institutional Research at Emkay Global Financial Services. Dhananjay, hi, good morning. I'm going to start with IDFC because that really has been the stock in focus over the last few days. With the bank license now, how would you be positioned on that stock?
So we are fairly constructive on IDFC. I think with the bank licenses, what we are seeing is that the organization will be able to diversify its asset portfolio. Right now, they are monopillar in terms of the exposure. It's largely into infrastructure. So I think there will be an opportunity where the organization will actually diversify. But I guess this is going to be a little long-term story because they will have to get through the regulatory thing. They will have to have network to mobilize deposits, etc. So I think that is something that will evolve over a period of time. But I think from a longer-term standpoint, it's a very constructive thing for IDFC.
Okay. Dhananjay, hi, good to see you in this morning. We've been talking about a little bit of volatility which seems to have seeped into the markets now, at least in the past couple of trading sessions. Do you think that we've halted the gains that we've seen on the Nifty, and maybe there will be a little bit of volatility seeping in since the election process will kick off next week, along with the fact that earnings will also start more aggressively come 15th April?
Right. See, yeah, I think as I've said earlier, I think the fundamentals have not really improved as much as the market. So the market has been rising on the fact that there will be a positive outcome on the election. So probably that can happen. But I think what is really happening is that ahead of the event, there is a lot of optimism that is being priced in. I think what is happening now is that since this is a consensus trade, that's been happening. So I guess what is happening is that at these levels, some people will be actually booking profits, especially in the banking side, which has actually run up quite rapidly. So there is a possibility that there might be some profit booking over there. And also with respect to other areas such as capital goods, real estate, and those kind of cyclical stocks where people might start booking profit to some extent. I think that's what the smart money would do. Later on, they will take a position, but I think the volatility in the markets could re-emerge. But I think larger part of that will happen after the event is passed, which is basically the election results.
Okay, that
is around somewhere in May.
Indeed, that's still about a month and a half away, Dhananjay. So let's talk about the near-term trigger. Next week, of course, we have the Infosys numbers. I mean, as we head into the event of earnings season, how would you approach IT names?
Sorry, I can't hear the last.
Ahead of Infosys numbers, which is going to be the immediate trigger, how would you approach IT stocks and Infosys in particular?
So, see, I think what we think is that the rupee, which is actually appreciated in this whole rally, actually start topping off. So, it hit 60, a little lower than 60, and then it started weakening again. So, our view is that there might be some weakening in INR, and hence it is possible that given the context of the correction that we have seen in IT space over the last 1 month, there will be opportunities in the IT space. So I think my core thesis on positive view on IT would actually remain. So these corrections are something that we'll buy into. Given the fact that at a broader level, many of these companies will continue to see strong sales performance both from US and Europe. As far as Infosys is concerned, we are kind of cautious with the guidance that has been given by Infosys, and I think there is certain change in management and leadership, which will impact the near-term outcome for the company. So we'll wait to see how it pans out. So within the IT space, we are liking Wipro, TCS. This has been something that we've been liking in the mid cap. We have liked Tech Mahindra and NIT Tech. So earlier we were very positive on Infosys, that we have actually moved out.
Okay.
But broadly, we are positive, and I think these corrections are providing opportunities to buy into the IT space. And on the other side, I would like to book profits in some of the banking names. Some of the weak banks also have run up by almost like 32 to 35%. For instance, if you look at Bank of India and Union Bank, they have run up quite dramatically. And I think as far as the Q4 results are concerned, we are expecting the slippage for these banks to remain high. And these are also banks where the net NPA to net worth ratios are actually fairly high. So that basically reflects the vulnerability of the capital of the banks. So, that's what I would play.
Okay. Dhananjay, what's happening with the entire capital goods space? BHEL, for example, is down 2% today. For the week itself, in the past 5 trading sessions, it's lost close to 8% or over 8%. And we did hear the L&T management talk about how 15,000 crores are slow-moving orders in their order book. They haven't cancelled it, but they're slow-moving orders. In that light, do you think that BHEL would be more vulnerable, considering that it's completely domestic-focused?
Absolutely. So I think, what L&T has actually said recently is something they have been doing over the past couple of years. So earlier on, they have been showing a built-up of the order book, and at the year end, they have been cutting off. So I think the investment cycle continues to remain weak. We have remained underweight on the sector. What we are seeing recently is that the treasury yields have actually started to move up again. So the 10-year government bond yields have actually moved up beyond 9%, and that's not very good for the capital goods sector. So I think the whole run-up that we have seen in cap goods over the last, let's say, 3-4 weeks, I think will be tested going forward.
Okay, Dhananjay, what about stocks like ONGC, which have corrected fair bit from their recent highs? Good time to buy, or would you stay out?
Yeah, ONGC, we are kind of constructive. We have been supportive of the rally over there. I think corrections can be bought.
Okay, fair enough. We'll have to leave it at that, Dhananjay. Thanks very much for joining in. So that's the view coming in from Emkay. But